You'd think letting someone stay at your house during a rough patch would earn you some gratitude. Maybe a thank you card. A scented candle. Even a half-hearted promise to return the favor someday. But when it came to my sister Rachel, gratitude was foreign and entitlement was fluent. 5 years ago, she'd called me sobbing at 11:47 p.m., I still remember the time. Her voice was hoarse from crying and dramatic wailing. "He cheated on me with a yoga instructor," she gasped. "And I found out through Instagram stories." Back then, I was naive. Or maybe just too kind for my own good. I told her to come over. My guest room was clean, the bed freshly made. I even stocked her favorite snacks, sour cream chips, overpriced dark chocolate, and that one brand of kombucha that smells like feet but costs a small fortune. She was only supposed to stay for 2 weeks while she got her life together. Spoiler alert, she never did. 2 weeks turned into a month. A month turned into her ordering furniture for the space. She started referring to my living room as our living room. My house wasn't a home anymore, it was Rachel's sad sitcom set, complete with lazy mornings and midday breakdowns. And when I finally asked, gently, for her to think about moving out, she acted like I'd slapped her. "Wow. I didn't expect you to turn your back on me." Excuse me, I'd let her freeload, emotionally drain me, and hijack my Netflix account. But because I had the audacity to set a boundary, I was now the villain. That moment stuck with me. Even after she left, only after my mother guilt-tripped me into giving her just a few more weeks, she carried that same attitude, like I'd wronged her by not making my life her permanent safety net. The thing about Rachel is, she's always been the favorite. The golden girl. If she breathed too loudly, my mom would clutch her chest and say, "She has such strong lungs." A natural performer. If I aced an exam? "You work too hard, Amanda. Don't stress yourself." So when I overheard my cousin Leah at a family brunch say, "I can't wait for Rachel's engagement party at Amanda's place, the garden is so pretty," I laughed. Until I realized she wasn't joking. "What party?" I asked. Leah blinked at me, confused. "Rachel didn't tell you?" "She said she's hosting her engagement there. She already booked the caterers." My stomach dropped. I was sipping lukewarm coffee in my own family's home while my sister planned to use my property like it was a public park. I called Rachel before I even finished my coffee. She picked up on the third ring, chipper and fake sweet. "Hi Mandy. What's up?" I didn't bother with small talk. "Why are people saying your engagement party is happening at my house?" Dead silence. Then a light, breathy laugh. "Oh, that. I was gonna tell you. It's no big deal. Just a few people." I could feel my jaw clench. "A few people?" "Leah said you hired a caterer." "Well, yeah, obviously. It's not like I'm throwing a potluck." "Come on, Mandy. It's just one night. One night on my property that you didn't even bother asking about." I could practically hear her rolling her eyes. "You weren't using the backyard. You barely have friends, and you live alone. Why does it matter?" There it was. That snide little tone she always used when she wanted to put me in my place. Like I was some bitter, lonely spinster guarding her patch of grass like it was Buckingham Palace. "It matters," I said slowly, "because it's mine. You don't get to plan a party in my house without asking. That's not how this works." "Oh my God, Mandy. Don't be so dramatic. Mom and Dad said it's fine. They didn't think you'd mind." I froze. "Wait, they knew?" She snorted. "Of course. Mom said you're always uptight about your space and you need to learn how to be more accommodating. Dad said to just go ahead and plan everything. He even offered to help with decorations." I didn't know whether to scream or laugh. The same parents who once told me to lower my voice because Rachel needed calm energy now had the nerve to sign off on trespassing. I hung up. Not rudely, just in that way that makes your point louder than words. And then I drove straight to my parents' house. The moment I stepped in, my mom plastered on that performative smile she wears when she knows she's wrong but refuses to admit it. Amanda. Have you gained a little weight? You look fuller. Cut the act, I said. Why did you tell Rachel it was okay to throw a party at my house? Mom blinked. Because it's just one night. Don't make a scene. You didn't think I should be asked? She's your sister, Dad chimed in from behind his newspaper. Family helps family. You don't have a problem with her using it, you have a problem with her being the center of attention. I stared at them. I work 60 hours a week to maintain my life and home. Rachel waltzes through it like it's a reality TV set, and I'm the bad guy? She's your little sister, Mom snapped. You're supposed to support her. You wouldn't have what you have today if we hadn't helped you either. And there it was, the eternal emotional blackmail. You owe us. You owe her. No matter what I achieved, they always found a way to make me feel like it was rented, not earned. And the rent was loyalty. Silence. Sacrifice. But that was the moment I stopped renting. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cry. I just turned, walked to the door, and said, if you show up at my house without permission, don't be surprised if you find yourself locked out. And this time? I meant it, I didn't sleep that night. I wasn't angry anymore, I was charged. I was finally taking control of a script I didn't write, one they'd been forcing me to play the villain in for years. By morning, I had already spoken to the locksmith. Want to change just the front? He asked, examining my doorway. Or everything? Everything, I said, without flinching. Front, back, and the side gate. And I want a digital keypad with a changeable code. No spare keys. No family access. He nodded with a small smirk like he'd seen this kind of thing before. Got it. Family drama? You have no idea. It took less than 2 hours. I watched as my old locks, the ones Rachel had used to waltz in whenever she wanted, clanked to the ground. It was symbolic. Like shedding old skin. A new boundary made solid in brass and steel. Next was the security system. I ordered 4 motion-detecting cameras with cloud backups. 2 for the front, 1 for the back entrance, and 1 for the side gate. I wasn't just protecting my property anymore, I was gathering evidence. Because if my sister or parents wanted to push the envelope, I'd be ready. Rachel didn't text me. Neither did my parents. I knew why, they were still under the impression I was all bark and no bite. Amanda, the responsible one. Amanda, the stable one. The one they could walk all over because she had too much pride to make a scene. They underestimated how dangerous quiet people become when they finally speak up. The cameras went live by the evening. The notifications streamed in. A cat, a breeze moving a bush, nothing serious. Until 1:23 a.m., when my phone buzzed with a motion alert. Back gate to person detected, I tapped the app, there they were. Rachel, in her pajamas and fuzzy slippers, waving a flashlight like she was breaking into Area 51. Behind her? Mom. Holding what looked like a party decoration bag. And Dad, wearing a windbreaker and looking around like a cartoon criminal. I didn't even react. I just hit record and let it roll. I could hear them too, thanks to the mic. This is ridiculous, Rachel hissed. She's being petty. She'll get over it, Mom muttered. Just unlock it. You said she keeps a spare in the planter. I checked. It's not there. Oh, for heaven's sake, your father can climb over. Dad, from the shadows, I'm not climbing anything. I'm 63. I pressed another button, activate siren. The screech was glorious. They froze. Rachel dropped her phone. My mom screamed. Dad clutched his chest like he was auditioning for a soap opera. Then they ran. Like actual criminals. And the best part? The camera caught everything, clear as day, time-stamped and cloud-backed. I didn't sleep that night either, but this time, it was because I was laughing too hard. The next morning, I forwarded the footage to myself and made 3 copies, one for my records, one for my lawyer, and one just in case. By 10 a.m., the police were at my door. Miss Carter? The officer said politely. We received a report of a possible break-in attempt at this address last night. Yep, I replied. It was my family. He blinked. Excuse me? Here, I said, handing over the USB drive. That's the footage. It's all time-stamped. They tried to enter the premises without consent. This isn't their property. He watched a bit of the footage on his tablet. They ran like actual suspects. They were. And I'm pressing charges. Was I being too harsh? Some would say yes. But no one asks why the eldest daughter finally said enough. They just criticize her when she does. I got a call from my mother later that afternoon. She didn't even say hello. Are you insane? The police came to our door. Did they? Must have been that break-in attempt, I said, voice calm as ever. You're humiliating us. Rachel is in tears. Good. She should be. You would have ruined her engagement. She did that herself. I never said she couldn't have a party. I said she couldn't have one in my house without asking. My mother's voice dropped into that cold, biting tone she only used when she wanted to cut me down. You always have to be difficult. Always jealous of your sister. That's why you're alone. Oof. There it was. The nuclear button. But this time? It didn't hurt. It didn't even sting. I smiled, even though she couldn't see me. You know what's worse than being alone, Mom? Being surrounded by people who only love you when you're useful. Click. I hung up. No goodbyes. By the end of the day, a formal report was filed. I didn't push for jail time, I'm not cruel. But a trespassing record? A warning? A mark on their perfect little lives? Absolutely. Rachel tried calling. She texted long messages dripping in fake remorse. I just wanted one day to feel special. I didn't think you'd go that far. Family shouldn't be treated like criminals. I left her on read. And when she tried the guilt card, this could affect my job, Mandy. Please. Just drop it. You've made your point. I sent back one sentence, your choices made the point, not me. The fallout wasn't immediate, but it was glorious. The report I filed didn't land them in jail, I made sure of that. But now Rachel had to check yes next to have you ever been involved in a criminal investigation? On her job application forms. She didn't lose her job. But the HR department definitely looked at her differently. It shook her shiny little world just enough. My parents? They were furious, but also embarrassed. The neighbors had noticed the police presence. Whispers started. Not the kind of gossip my mother liked, not the look at how perfect her family is kind, but the did you hear what her daughter did? Kind. I didn't speak to them for weeks. Not because I was angry. But because I didn't owe them conversation anymore. I didn't owe them explanations. Or access. Or apologies. The silence was a new kind of peace. For the first time in years, I came home and didn't expect some relative to be sitting on my couch. I wasn't bracing myself for another favor masked as family bonding. I had my space. My house. My peace. A month later, Rachel sent me an invitation in the mail. It was to her engagement party. At a venue. Paid for by her fiancé's family. No note. No apology. Just a card and gold-trimmed paper that screamed, "Look at me." I laughed out loud and dropped it in the trash. Later that week, I saw my parents at the grocery store. They avoided my aisle like I was radioactive. Which was ironic, because for years, I was the one they acted like was shameful. The confrontation came eventually, not with yelling, but with tension. I was walking out of the coffee shop when Mom intercepted me in the parking lot. "You ruined your sister's dream," she said flatly. "You couldn't just let her have one day?" I sipped my latte and gave her the same look she'd given me all my life, the "you're being dramatic" stare. "She could have had it," I said. "If she had just asked." But she felt entitled to my home. That's the problem. Mom's mouth tightened. "You always think you're better." "No," I said calmly. "I've just stopped thinking I'm less." "That's what bothers you." I walked away and didn't turn around. It wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about reclaiming the narrative. 6 months later, I hosted a dinner party. My friends came, people who respected boundaries, brought wine, laughed at the right jokes, and helped clean up without being asked. We sat in my backyard, under fairy lights, music low and warm, glasses clinking. No tension. No guilt tripping. No one asking to use my space for something they didn't even value. I caught myself smiling for no reason at all. This is what family is supposed to feel like, I thought. Chosen, respectful, present. After dessert, one of my friends leaned in. "Hey," she said. "I don't mean to pry, but your sister. Is it true what happened?" I laughed. "Depends which version you heard. The one where you had them arrested for trying to throw a party in your house without asking." I nodded. "Pretty much." Her eyes widened. "Damn. That's bold." "No," I said. "It's boundaries. Long overdue ones." That night, after everyone left and I locked the new locks, I stood at the door and just breathed. This house used to feel like a burden. A symbol of everything I owed everyone. Now, it was mine. Fully. Finally. I still get texts sometimes. Rachel trying to rebuild. My mom forwarding me articles about forgiveness. My dad occasionally asking, "When can we talk?" And maybe one day, I'll reply. But not until they learn that love without respect isn't love at all. And entitlement dressed up as family obligation? That's just control with a smile. The locks stay changed. The cameras stay on. The peace stays mine.